Hey muchachos, bienvenidos nuevamente a su canal. Mi nombre es Beto y antes que nada quisiera empezar pidiéndoles una disculpa a aquellas personas que solamente hablan español. Este video fue grabado principalmente en inglés, así que I'm sorry, pero si este video es para ti, espero que lo disfrutes. Alright, first of all, I would like to say that this introduction was very essential to the video, since I showed it to a couple of people and all of them agreed that it would need some kind of clarification afterwards, which I will do. But first, I have to advise you that some of the opinions expressed in these interviews are gonna make you go, they're not wrong, which is why I'll conclude answering the most important topics. Also, the content in this video is rather mature, so viewers' discretion advised. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Bienvenidos nuevamente a su canal, tu espacio TCYG. Este video va a ser un poco diferente. Vamos a salir aquí a las calles de Dallas, Texas, para entrevistar a la gente, para ver qué es lo que opinan sobre Dios y sobre los cristianos. Para eso, aquí tenemos a nuestro amigo Chuck. Chuck, cuéntales más o menos qué es lo que vamos a hacer.
We're gonna go out the streets, we're gonna interview people, what they believe on God, what their opinions are on Christians, and we'll see what the different reactions that we get. We hope this video is a blessing to you. Please remember to share it and like it, share it with your friends, share it with your family members, and remember to subscribe to our channel for further content that you will love. Okay, first question is, what do you think about God?
What I think about God, God is the most embracive, most powerful man in this world. See, I believe in Allah.
Yeah.
That's a hard question.
Right?
From what I know about him in the Bible, he seems a little erratic, very difficult to understand. Yeah, a little bipolar. Sometimes it's okay to kill people and other times it's not.
Okay.
Or it's like sometimes he forgives if he feels like it and other times he doesn't.
I believe he's real.
I don't believe in God, but I think that I believe in human interaction. I think that's a lot more valuable than the concept of God. I think the concept of God honestly has led to a lot of problems throughout life. And I think that, or not throughout life, throughout history. And I think that if we could focus more on loving one another and taking whatever tenets are in the Bible and actually applying them, that's what it's all about. And I've seen humans do that, and that's all I need to know about goodness. I don't think that we have to have some all-knowing being that determines our morality. We are capable of morality, and if we are able to live to the best of our abilities, then we would be moral, and I think we all are. So I don't think we need a concept of God, and I don't believe in it. I like science.
Real, not real?
Yeah, he's definitely real.
Okay. And the second question is, what do you think about Christians?
Not necessarily just Christians, but like all religions, I believe we're going for the same God. They're all trying to worship the same God.
The majority of this country are Christians, and co-workers and people across the street seem like really nice and sweet people. Most of the time, there's always some outliers. And
What do you think about Christians?
Yo, straight up, Jesus was like chilling with some prostitutes. Yeah, Christianity is like a crutch that a lot of people use to use as a reason for judging other people.
Right.
That's you just saying, I have the same right as God to judge other people. And I'm like, not cool, dude.
What do you think about Christians?
I don't have an issue with Christians because, like, I used to be in your shoes, right? Like, I used to be on campus, you know, knocking on dorms and being like, what's your favorite superhero? And I, like, flip the card and be like, by the way, Jesus is my superhero. And so, like, that's how I'd, like, convert people. But I always love engaging with people, like, about, you know, religion because it's a really interesting topic, right? But I, personally, when I think about Christianity is that this sounds extreme, but I'm like, I feel like Christianity is like communism in the sense that like ideally it works, you know, like the perfect form of it works, but really people are corrupt, right? And they're going to make a worse version of it, and they're going to use Christianity as like a face to make it, like, to pretend that they're good, but really they're doing stuff behind that, you know?
Christians believe in the same thing as Muslims. The only thing we don't believe in is Christ was the Son of God. I'm the Son of God too. You're the Son of God. He's the Son of God. Every person I heard is the Son of God and a woman of God. So why do I have to pray to Jesus Christ when I can just pray straight to Jesus? When I can pray straight to God, Allah Himself.
So I don't know. It's a little confusing.
Yeah. And I grew up Methodist, which was basically like everything's a metaphor. Just don't be a to other people. So I'm not totally gonna say like I don't believe in God or Jesus or anything like that. But yeah, just it depends on what like sect of Christianity you believe in.
So no, there's some cool Christians. Some of my closest friends are still Christian, but I think why I value them is because they're open. Like they know everything about my life, and I'm like, they don't judge me for it, you know. And I think that's real love, and that's like those are the Christians that I respect. Versus the Christians that kind of dance around things and like, oh my God, you like women, or like, oh my God, you go to sex clubs, or like, I don't, just like, you know, whatever. But like, it's just, I want to be myself and I want to be accepted, right? So.
All right, welcome back once again. So first, we get this guy who's saying all the right things and I'm really liking it, but then he ends with this one sentence.
See, I believe in Allah.
Now, he's under the impression that God and Allah are the same, which is not true. Sure, Christianity and Islam are both a monotheistic religion, but that's as far as similarities go. God and Allah have a rather significant difference when it comes to their characteristics. The Islamic religion has a God who, unlike ours, does not step into his creation. In the very first book of the Bible, we're introduced to Adam and Eve, and we can clearly see how God talked to them and interacted with them. In Islam, we see a distant being from his creation there to be worshipped behind a veil. Now, there are more differences between the two, but for the sake of time, we'll only cover this one.
From what I know about him in the Bible, he seems a little erratic, very difficult to understand.
Sure, God may be difficult to understand, but then again, he is God. Also, are we really supposed to fully understand them?
Yeah, a little bipolar.
Not at all. Here, she was most likely referring to some parts of the Old Testament where God acted upon his laws being broken. But if we read the context, we can clearly see why he did what he did, if it wasn't already warned, that is. What it is true though, is that all of our actions have consequences, including sin. In the story of David, we can see that he was forgiven, but he still had to pay for the consequences in full.
I like science.
Believing in God does not mean that you have to ignore all the laws of nature. There are more than enough arguments out there that go for the existence of God, and all of them go hand in hand with science.
Use as a reason for judging other people.
They don't judge me for it, you know, and I think that's real love.
Judging seems to be a theme in all of these interviews. Christians are often accused of judging even though Jesus told us not to do it here. But if we go back to the context of this verse, we can see that Jesus is not telling us not to judge, but rather how to judge. Here, he's not forbidding us to judge others, but to avoid hypocritical judgment. He's telling us to first take care of our own sin, and then we can go on and judge other people about it with the intention of helping them. But as Christians, we're actually encouraged to judge sin. If we go to 1 Corinthians 5, we can see Paul passing on judgment on a man who was sleeping with his wife. Why? To let the congregation know that it wasn't okay to do so. If left unchecked, sin can really destroy a person's life.
Like I used to be on campus, you know, knocking on dorms and being like, what's your favorite superhero? And I like flip the card and be like, by the way, Jesus is my superhero.
Now, what I see here is elementary school evangelizing. If you're in college trying to convert people that way, chances are that you won't be very successful. Apologetics would be a more reasonable way to approach college students about Christianity.
Personally, what I think about Christianity is that this sounds extreme, but I'm like, I feel like Christianity is like communism in the sense that like ideally it works, you know, like the perfect form of it works.
The imperfect form of it has been working for thousands of years. Sure, there are crises in churches, but that's because, like she said, people are corrupt. But that's why we have the Holy Spirit to guide us.
So, no, there's some cool Christians. Some of my closest friends are still Christian. But I think why I value them is because they're open. Like, they know everything about my life. And I'm like, they don't judge me for it, you know? And I think that's real love.
These are the kind of Christians that are not doing their job. If you stand by sin, let it happen, and accept it, then are you really a Christian? And of course, these are the kind of people she likes to hang around with. The ones who don't judge her and accept her for who she is. Because nowadays, it's all about acceptance.
Oh my God, you like women? Or like, oh my God, you go to sex clubs? Or like,
Now, I don't know about you, but I believe that lesbianism and going to sex clubs is something serious. Making it sound as something innocent does not make it right. Now, I have nothing against these people. They were nice enough to express their opinions about what we asked them. What I wanted to do is just to show you a glimpse of what's out there. And I want to encourage you to prepare yourself so that whenever these kind of questions come your way, you know how to answer them. Also, subscribe if you haven't subscribed, like this video, and also, why not? Leave a comment down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. God bless you.